Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today for a brief rundown on foundation software, McCormick Systems, and payroll for construction. Today, when we're walking you through the overview, feel free to jump on and ask any questions in the GoToWebinar control panel. As you're probably already aware, today's goal is to take a look at our all-in-one back office solution. So we're going to cover foundation software, as I mentioned, payroll for construction, which Alex is going to take over, and James from McCormick. And there we are there, and we'll be walking you through the three products today. The goal is to give a brief big picture view to make sure everybody sees from a high level what foundation and its sister companies handle and how it can help your business. And we're going to start off with James talking about McCormick Systems.
All right, thanks, Garrett. Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely.
All right, good deal. So yeah, as Garrett said, just a very high level overview here today, just to give you kind of a big picture feel for what's going on and the integration between the companies. For those of you that don't know, McCormick Systems has been around for a long time. So we've been an industry leader for decades here, really. We offer electrical, that's been our core program for, since the start, and then plumbing, mechanical for, about 15 years now here as well. So we offer an all-in-one, PDF to proposal solution. And the hope is, we help you streamline the estimating process. So from a program standpoint, we look to help you simplify and speed up the process. We're going to give you a comprehensive database, ready to roll with built-in labor units. For our union contractors, our NECA contractors, that's going to mean built-in NECA units as well. There's going to be material pricing that is updatable through several different methods. Through this, we want to help increase the accuracy and consistency of the figures that you're kicking out. Program's going to give you a good historical data to work from, design capabilities, great reporting options, and really should help you dial in the estimating process. And at the end of the day, we want to help you win jobs and be more profitable. So with that, I'm going to share my screen here real quick and just take you through, as I said, just a kind of a high level overview here of the system. So let's go ahead and see if I can figure out how to do this. Let's see.
There you go. Should be okay.
Okay, so show my screen and make sure it's showing the correct screen. Is it showing screen 1 or 2 here? Can you see it yet?
I'm seeing the go-to kind of window. There we go.
See McCormick now? All right, good deal.
Gotcha.
Alrighty, so McCormick Systems, our process really is 5 simple steps. So step 1 is setting up the job in the system and bring your plans in. This is a great dashboard you can set up for your estimating department, or if it's just a single estimator, it's a good way to kind of get a quick look at your bids, potentially your jobs. There are some project management capabilities of McCormick as well. We're not going to really talk about that much today, but step 1 is really set up and get the plans attached to that job in the system. And then again, we just work through these 5. Step 2 is your labels. You're creating your breakouts. This is important to obviously organize your takeoff, make sure we do get everything counted and measured. And then maybe more importantly, or certainly as important, is what kind of reporting do we want to run? Can we run to help us with kind of keeping track of ordering materials, manpower needs for particular phases of the job, parts of the job. And we want to reference timesheets against our estimate. Are we staying on track? So labels is a very simple step. It's going to be very job specific, but it's also a very important step too in terms of what kind of data you want to pull out of the program. Step 3 is where we do takeoff. This is kind of McCormick's sweet spot. This is we're really known for giving you the ability to do takeoff in a very efficient manner. We have a feature called Workspaces that allows you to create shortcuts in your Takeoff section here, and these are all about getting to the materials that you typically find yourself counting and measuring, on a particular type of job. And some of our users out there may have a couple estimators. One's working on industrial, one's working on commercial, and those individual materials may be kind of specific to each niche. So you can set up shortcuts so that you're working with, again, your most commonly used materials. So workspaces is a huge feature here, but counting and measuring is really what we're doing in step 3. And of course, we can manually count and measure, but most people these days are doing everything on the screen here. And this is what we call Design Estimating Pro. And this is the PDFs that you brought in. And really, you're just selecting an item from the database and counting it on the screen. As I mark up my screen, we're getting it, and let's say we'll use this example, the duplex. It's getting the box, the cover plate, the ground screw, the mud ring, the labor to install, and the price. And all I'm really doing is just counting stuff on the screen. The program is doing a lot of work for me behind the scenes. As I count my J box, the same thing. It's getting all the labor, all the ancillary parts and pieces that would be associated with any given assembly. So we just grab and go, and our estimate is being put together here. As far as linear takeoff, also very simple. Left click to start your runs, and double click to end them. Everything's being tallied up over here on your legend. So we make it very, very simple to count and measure. Not a difficult program to learn at all. We're going to help you really every step of the way. We'll get you up and running here. And we have a very proven process to help users get up to speed very quickly. Of course, training is going to come with the software. Can you learn it without training? You can, but we really want you to take advantage of that to get dialed in and making sure you're maximizing use of the system. So step 3 here, again, keep in mind, this is a very high level view. We're counting and measuring, and we're either doing that manually or on the screen itself. We do give you about 50,000 items pre-populated here, again, built-in labor and pricing, and about 30,000 pre-built assemblies as well. All right, from there, it's just working through the final 2 steps. Step 4 is our extension. This is really reporting. We're kind of reviewing all the materials, and making any potentially last-minute changes to those. We're sorting our label sets out so maybe we can view those individually, run different reports, adjust our labor pricing. This is also where we would do an update with a pricing service. If you're familiar with trade service or net pricer, you can bring supplier pricing directly into the program, from one of those types of pricing services. So again, we'll take you through how to use all this. And as I go through this, I'm honestly getting close to wrapping up. In 10 minutes, I'm showing you a program that I would typically, to start, take an hour or hour and a half to show someone. So if you are interested in taking a closer look at this, definitely reach out and we'll run you through a more comprehensive demo. Let me go to step 5 and just talk about that a little bit here. And this is where we would wrap everything up. Let me just move this window here. We work across these tabs in the bottom. You're applying your labor rates to your hours. All right, you are figuring your quotes. So your vendors are supplying you light fixture quotes and gear, things like that. Subcontractors, direct job expenses, equipment rental, etc. And you can add more cost tabs in here as well. Of course, this is where you'd add in your overhead and profit. This is also the step where you would push your information. If you are a Foundation user, you push that over to Foundation. You create a token in your Foundation program. It allows you to push job information over, create a budget, move material lists, items, things like that into your accounting program. So that's, like I said, a quick run through of the 5 steps of putting a bid together with McCormick. And as I said, if you want to take a closer look, definitely reach out and let me know, and we'll get something set up for you. Garrett.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, James.
Yep.
You guys see the screen okay on this side?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Cool. So, and similar to what James ran through with the McCormick side, again, very high level view of the software here. We jump in. I'll cover some of the big picture pieces that seem to hit the masses, and the same token, typical demonstration, a one-on-one, usually an hour, hour and a half, does a good overview for people to see if it's a fit and talk about some questions and areas that are specific to them. So saying that, yeah, Foundation's a full construction accounting software. We've been around for, well, since 85, right? So going on 37 years. We have over 400 employees. Real key piece of that, a quarter of our staff is in-house support and training, which is really unique in the market. So that's something that we're very proud of, and I believe our clients are super happy about, and the fact that we're doing everything in-house. And we've served the same focus industry, right, for this whole time period, just focusing on construction and making sure we're not, kind of spreading too thin in that goal. We've got over 6,000 contractors using Foundation. And while our heart where we started was job cost accounting, right? And it's kind of merged and brought things together for one system, like the whole focus of today, right? Project management, estimating and takeoff, mobile solutions for field entry, and our payroll service, which Alex is going to talk about here shortly. So let's jump in. So if we take a peek at Foundation, again, there's a lot here in the main screen. We serve a lot of specialty contractors and a lot of general contractors that may not, right, do the labor. And so some modules really are geared towards, say an equipment company versus a mechanical versus an electrical versus a general contractor. Saying that the base system at the very top, that's handling the classics, right? Whether somebody's coming off of QuickBooks, something that's not construction specific, or somebody coming off of an older solution or something that's just not a good fit or supported any longer. The top is, again, going to cover the basics, and that's where we're going to spend most of the time today for a few minutes at least. The core accounting items, payables, receivables, obviously running financials and bank recs, but obviously the key pieces here that reason people use us, it's job costing, right? Maybe managing change orders, payroll, right? Union payroll, certified payroll, that's a huge piece for a lot of our clients based on their needs. Construction billing templates, AIA features, time and material, retainage management, committed cost tracking with POs and subs. Again, some of these optional modules are just geared towards certain trades. Now, I want to point out security's active in the system, right? So when somebody is using Foundation, they determine who's allowed to get in and what they can see and do to a pretty granular level. Maybe somebody can log in and only see their jobs. Maybe somebody can get into payroll, but the executives are hidden from them. So again, very specific options on the setup of security. I always point out there is a report writer and a form designer in the base system. And so as I show examples today of some, say, job reports, maybe financials, we preload a lot, right? Probably more than a lot of companies need, but saying that it isn't unusual for somebody to want to change up a report or make something special, and that's very easy to do in that report writer. Let's start with the dashboard, and we're kind of cover some job costing, some concepts there. We'll talk about a couple key features in payroll and some billings. Now, these are just some of my active jobs, right? So when we create a project in Foundation, you can label it with a lot of key items. Who's the project manager? Who's the customer? What type of job is it, right? Is it a commercial job? Is it a service job? Is it a retail? Is it a hospital? Who knows? Our clients have a lot of different types of things that they do, and they're always able to pull that information out by these different labels. Saying that, for my active jobs, we're just seeing a very big picture here to start. What do we build against these contract values? What's the estimated and actual cost? Speaking of those estimated costs, obviously that is data that we would pull from McCormick, right? So we don't have to recreate that information. When the jobs are awarded, they're set up in our software and those budgets pull in. And then obviously as things progress, as I dive into this chart here, we're seeing, of course, our estimated and actual profit, our variances of cost, hours, our percentages of completion. Again, a lot of different views of this data. Some are very simple, like this one, just showing the basics. Some are extremely detailed, or somewhere in between. Anything blue is indicating it's a drill down. That's traditionally data that we do pull over from any prior system, right? Jobs, vendors, customers, employees. Our clients have an opportunity to clean that up. As James mentioned on the estimating side, right, on the full construction accounting side, same idea. We're walking people through the whole transition. Not something that they do every day, nor do they want to look forward to doing a transition, and we know that, and so we do our best to make sure that's as painless as possible, explain the process, walk them through the motions, kind of guide that whole process for them, although they are heavily involved, right? Now, if I wanted to jump into one of these projects, maybe, see one further, something, whether it's good or bad, right? We click on it. At this point, just seeing a snapshot view of that job, right? As our payroll is being done, as we're billing for the job, we're seeing where our profit sits. We're seeing what that contract looks like with any potential change orders. We're managing potentially our committed cost, right? Whether we're issuing purchase orders, subcontracts, or both. Making sure we're tracking what we've been billed, not getting overbilled, which the system would prevent that. But let's take a look at the cost. So this job's roughly $200,000 in current cost. When I click that detail button here, the blue, that's going to jump us down to some type of an additional detail. Now, if somebody's doing civil construction versus, interior work or, drywall or painting or electrical, or being a general contractor, maybe just using standard industry codes, these items are going to be different, right? And so a lot of companies I talk to do use cost codes, some type of detail like this, and others don't. And that's fine. Whatever layers you need is okay. And like in this example, I've got some subsurface work being done, whatever that is. I've got some demolition, and I'm seeing that variance of dollars, quantities, and hours. Right, as I click on that task that cost $19,000, I'm seeing the breakdown of that $19,000 by labor, material, subcontract cost, equipment, burden. Again, there's my hours being tracked. So again, some companies just track that main cost breakdown, the labor, material, subs type approach, and not utilizing these cost codes. So again, just noting that that's up to each company. It's kind of set up specific to each group and make the most sense of it. You can drill down, right? Get down into the weeds a little bit further. There's time card detail, right? Providing that backup. If I click into materials, right? Here's a few invoices coded in that made up that material cost. I can pull it up, see what it was if we've attached it like I had in this case. A lot of our clients do that where they're attaching invoices, maybe contracts, items against an employee or a PO. So throughout the system, you can essentially go paperless. Saying that again, there's lots of ways to see this data. There's change order management. At a basic level, we can see what the contract amount is for our jobs, what's been approved for changes, like this group here. I do have potentially, some pending, rejected change orders, but anywhere we see that revised total, that's giving us that final updated amount, including those approved changes. The next few screens here, I'm just going to bounce over. Of course, we're going to run, track financials in a proper sense. We get a lot of referrals from CPAs. We also get referrals from bonding companies. Coincidentally, here's a bonding report. People call these different things WIP reports, over under billing. Just another example of a critical report for a lot of companies that they'll typically do in, say, Excel, because they really are trying to piece this data together and trying to bring all this in one spot, and this does a good job of doing that. There's cash management, open payables, receivables, again, retainage tracking. And a lot of these areas here have a lot of drill downs that I'm just kind of, crossing over here just from a big picture view. But as I said, saying that the dashboard is part of the base system is accurate and it's nice, it does a great job, but all the modules have their own core group of reports, right? So I don't want to say any way you could look at your data you can, but it's pretty close. Preloaded financials, lots of probably 40 to 50 job reports. So the output should be the per se easy part. Excuse me. So let's talk about a couple key things like getting labor in, right? We do an awesome job of automating certified payroll reports, union reports. We have a mobile application that I want to hop into for just a quick second. So just showing some of the automation that's in play. Now, for some companies, they may use a third-party mobile tool. That's okay if they're on something that just seems to work. Ours is nice because it's ours and it's connected to the database. So whether it's a field employee or a foreman can key in time, or a combination of those, where they can just manually enter time or they can clock in and out to their job and potential cost codes. There's approval processes here. So this is an example of an employee that's clocked into a job. Now that job labor, hours, and burden is going to shoot back to payroll for approval. And again, there may be a couple layers of approval. Or for example, a foreman or super in the field might look at that data first. So there's multiple levels on that approval scale. Here's another example of where maybe a foreman or somebody's keying in time for a group of people, right? So here's the employees on this job. Here's the various budgeted cost codes for that job, the activities that are taking place. And again, we can enter time per person per cost code. Now the mobile app does more, tracks weather, you can enter in equipment used, quantities, other variables, right? And that's just all relative to what pieces would make sense. Now, from a reporting standpoint in payroll, all the classics are there, right? 941s, W-2, workers' comp. Again, we have certified payroll. We do about 4 to 5 updates a year. So, anything from updating workflows in the system, new features. Obviously, tax tables are updated automatically. Updating these certified payroll reports and formats that exist, whether they're electronic or printed. We create the uploads that can get pushed up to an agency, for example, versus some of these more classic printed formats, which again, I believe they're all there already. Union reporting, same idea, right? It's not something fun to do, but if we scroll down here to the union section, it's automating it because we set it up properly. Something key that we do in a transition is we test this all out together, right? Once we get all the deduction and fringe tables established, do a few mock payroll runs, making sure things are working the way that we want. But after the fact, right, when we're using it on a day-to-day basis, we're able to pull out these reports, hopefully at the press of a button, and get the information that we need. Just a quick view too under payroll maintenance, the prevailing wage and union table setups. Again, these are things that a lot of systems obviously aren't handling, and these are things that we're very familiar with as far as setting them up, walking people through this properly, getting all their tables established with the right settings. And we've been doing this for a long time and understand the concepts behind it. Now, anything that we're doing through payroll, right, is feeding GL and job costing. The labor and the burden are there. We've got, of course, functionality in AP from basic check processing. There's lien waivers, 1099s. We've got Aia billings or just basic contract billings. Some of our clients do T&M work, whether it's large T&M or small T&M. Here's a simple screen showing an Aia billing. So this is on app 1. And I'm just going to quick throw in a few sample percent numbers here as far as the percent complete on these individual line items. So that's our schedule of values, although a small one. I'm going to hold 10% retainage, which is pretty typical, which I can release anytime, partial or final. But again, as far as automating, not having to go to spreadsheets, we include the G702 and G703, right? The traditional Aia format, if that's what you used. If not, that's okay. There's other formats and options available, of course. And as a refresher, we do have that form designer on top of it. So if you wanted to use, your own billing templates, your own POs, that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to save a few minutes here for Alex, and I just touched, again, high level of some of these basic features. There's a lot that we can spend some time on, which we encourage people to absolutely do that, right? Get in touch with us for one-on-one demonstrations. Let me see here. Alex, you good audio-wise? You want me to just keep my screen and you just talk on top of this, or?
Yep, that's perfect with me.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you, Garrett. And I want to thank everyone again for taking the time to join us here today. Highlight high-level overview, some information on payroll for construction here. So a payroll service just for construction. What we specialize in is those that need certified payroll reporting, those that need specific construction reporting as well, such as union reports or more detailed job costing when it comes to those payroll runs. And then at the end of the day, we're still going to be your full service payroll provider and be able to pay those employees via check or direct deposit. Then also handle the tax filings and payments, the weekly, the monthly, the quarterlies, the annualies, as well as the filing and distribution of those W-2s at year end. But with Payroll for Construction, we were established back in 2005. We process payroll in all 50 states. Those contractors that are working in one state or you're working in, let's say, up to 20 states, it does not matter how big or how small our size of our company is. Our service and our team would be able to handle the size of your payroll runs. Like Garrett had shown, that payroll module inside of the Foundation software database, us being a sister company of Foundation, those that are using us for their payroll service, there's 2 ways that our service can be accessed. One is it can be a standalone. Payroll for Construction can integrate with other accounting softwares out there, such as QuickBooks, Sage products, other accounting systems out there. or we also are built directly into that foundation database. So whether you're using us as a full foundation client with the payroll service, or you're just using us for payroll only, you're still going to be accessing that powerful payroll module inside the foundation database. And that payroll module is going to specialize helping out with those that have union, government, prevailing wage work, or again, like I mentioned, working in multiple states. As inside of our system, we're able to control information on the job level, then also be able to tie in, hey, do we have specific pay rates we need to pull in for those union works, those that have that government, prevailing wage work as well. On the job level, going to be able to control what pay rate we need to pay our employees based on the work that they're doing for us. The system's going to do the legwork for us behind the scenes. And then like James had mentioned and Garrett had mentioned with the setup of their products, the same is going to be with Payroll for Construction for the implementation. We're going to have someone from our team go through you with that database. They're going to get that database set up for you. We'll run a number of test payroll runs to make sure that the information is tying out inside that database. Then we're also able to get that payroll history, what have been done so far in that year, updated inside your actual Payroll for Construction database. So when it comes time for distribution of those W-2s at year end, you'd only receive one W-2 from Payroll for Construction. But again, we're going to be able to pay those employees via checks or direct deposit, those taxes, and then the system's going to automate the reports like job costing. Like Garrett had shown, we have over 40 different certified payroll print options, then also can upload online to those using things like the LCP tracker, the California DIR. We can have those certified payroll reports be fully automated inside the system. Then those that are union as well, able to then set up those union rates, then also those benefits that we're providing per the union, have those then tied to the job record, have all that information tracked as we're running payroll through the system. Then we'll generate a nice union report for us to then see where we stand, what we need to pay to that union when that time comes. And then the last item here, those that need EEO minority compliance reporting, going to have print and electronic upload options in the system there as well. So as we're running that payroll again, it's going to be automating these reports for us behind the scenes. Then again, with those reports automatically created for us. And then the last point here, just to reiterate, we are powered by Foundation, but we can integrate with other software programs out there. We have an integration tool that we're able to create for your team that based on the product that we're using. Once you guys run that payroll inside of our system, we know how crucial it is to have all of our data in one spot inside of our main accounting system. So whether you're using Foundation, and that's going to flow seamlessly to those Foundation reports, or we're on a separate product like QuickBooks, those Sage products, other accounting softwares out there, we're going to be able to build a tool that will push that payroll data back to your main accounting software so that we can still see our bottom line, see all of our data in one nice spot. But we hold quick 30-minute demonstrations of our payroll service here, whether you're a Foundation client or using other accounting softwares out there. Be happy to hold a demonstration for those looking to outsource to a provider or looking to switch providers here as well. Then what I'll go ahead and do here, if Garrett and James don't have anything else they want to add here, I'll open up to our questions here. So feel free to go ahead, type your questions in the chat here. We'll go ahead and get those answered for you. So as they roll in, we'll go ahead and start answering for anyone that has anything to send over to us here.
And we will be sending out a recording to everybody who registered and of course attended. So we will have the webinar sent on a link that you can follow up on. And of course, as the numbers and emails below, right? Reach out anytime. Feel free to call or email, and we will do our best to help. And looks like I think there was a couple questions that were actually answered during the overview, so I think we should be good there. But as we said, guys, just reach out, girls, anytime for a one-on-one or any questions, and we will do our best.